Hello everybody, welcome to our series, How to Survive and Thrive During the Downturn by Using Lean Tools. The first topic that we're going to be approaching is the topic of working capital. And as we said before, working capital is defined as the amount of inventory we have plus accounts receivable minus accounts payable. So we need to slice and dice a little further, and we're going to be looking into inventory. And the first topic of inventory we're going to approach now is working process, because it is the inventory that we can affect the quickest during a lean implementation. So, I didn't introduce ourselves. We need to start over.
Or
just yeah, keep it rolling, and
yeah,
then you'll cut it off.
Okay.
Okay.
We have some bloopers now. We
Yeah.
have a blooper file. Go.
Welcome everybody, and welcome everybody to our series on how to survive and thrive during the downturn by using lean tools. I am Gerard Leone, principal with the Leonardo Group Americas, and I am joined here by Richard Rahn, also a principal with Leonardo Group Americas. Our first topic is going to be around working process inventory, which is one of the elements of inventory as it affects working capital. We defined before working capital as inventory plus accounts receivable minus accounts payable. So today we're going to focus on inventory and the element of inventory that we can make an impact the fastest during the lean implementation, working process. So what is working process? Working process inventory is all the supplies that we have taken off the raw materials account and we have now into operations, and they have not been yet converted into finished goods. So working process inventory is cash that was invested, is now in the system, and we can do nothing about it. We cannot sell it because nobody will take it in its current state. So what do we do about it?
Now there is an important law as we're talking about working process inventory you should be aware of. It's called Little's Law. And what Little's Law tells us is, just in layman's terms, the more stuff you have out there on the floor, obviously the more stuff you have, but also the longer it's going to take for any given product to actually make its way through the various steps and get to the other end, which is to the level of finished goods. So controlling work in process has a number of benefits for us. In fact, from a lean perspective, there are a host of benefits associated with work in process inventory reduction. And one of them is the inventory part of it. The other part is cycle time reduction. So Little's Law will tell us if we can reduce or control work in process inventory, we also get the benefit of reduced cycle time through the system. So law of system dynamics.
When you think of work in process inventory, picture your factory, picture your value stream as a pipeline. Think of it as a pipe. The longer the pipe, meaning the longer the lead time, the more inventory you need to support operations. And I emphasize the word need there because we don't want you to go out and start raiding the inventory piles, hence starving your operations. What we need to do here is to make the pipeline shorter so you require less inventory. So how do we do that? The way in which we reduce that lead time is by linking and balancing the processes you need in your value stream to make your product.
You know, it might be somewhat confusing to go out there onto your factory floor and try to figure out where to start and what the steps are to really achieve this. So we have a couple things to share with you. This is various approaches to lean, we might say. Here's one of them. It's a well-known book, bestseller, called Learning to See, which recommends, and we agree with this by the way, to go out and, for starters, let's create a flow chart of the various processes and how they're connected and where we find accumulation of inventory. That's a good starting point. Just doing that, of course, doesn't really help us yet. We need to actually change the way we do things. So talking about actual transformation activities, another one that is familiar to lean advocates is this concept of Kaizen. And that is where you form a team, you pick an area of obvious opportunity, and you go ahead and you make changes. Kaizen can be important, but there's some other alternatives I think that we'd like to explore before we just jump into individual Kaizen kind of activities.
Absolutely. And there are many different approaches that companies and academicians have espoused over time. This is one company's solution, one of our clients. Also, from the academic standpoint, here's another solution. And a solution, a methodology that we developed and we have implemented in companies all over the world successfully over the last 20 years is a more scientific approach to linking and balancing. We do not want to go out on the factory floor and start changing things around in the hope that they will be better. We need to have a scientific methodology, a prescribed methodology that step by step will take us in the direction of a value stream with linked and balanced processes. In doing so, we will have shorter lead time. Shorter lead time will lead to requiring less working process inventory. So, what kind of benefits can we expect?
Well, time is of the essence. Every day we pick up the newspaper and find more news. So there's no time to fiddle while Rome burns, I don't think. The good news is this methodology we're talking about is really not that hard to understand, although it is quite a bit of work, but not terribly difficult to understand. And if we do this, then what can we expect to achieve? What can we expect to accomplish? If we're talking about lead time, we're talking about work in process inventory, and this may sound unbelievable. If we're a very traditional environment that is moving material in batches through the factory floor, we can expect up to a 90%, that's 90% reduction in work in process inventory, or at the same time in cycle time through the factory floor. That may sound unbelievable, but we've seen it many, many times. Now, in your particular case, it depends where we're starting from. But usually the opportunities for improvement in this area, work in process inventory, are huge. They are huge.
From your accounting standpoint, this will be a one-time infusion of cash. Think about all that money going out the door and you not having to reinvest it. Also, from the income statement standpoint, you will save money on carrying costs on that inventory. I think we have covered it, and we'll come back to talk about the rest of the elements of working capital.
See you soon.
Bye.